Okay, I saw this one, and it has the look of the veterans, but honestly, I can't even make out who it is. So we're gonna give it a go. Could be the wife, could be somebody else in the family, just could be a look-alike. It's very much weathered, so I don't even know if we're gonna be able to read it. We're gonna give it a spray here. We're over in the far side of the old cemetery, under some pine trees, and there's looks like there's a lot of damage in here. Let's see if we can make out who it is. A lot of damage on the back of this too. It's a tip, but it's still secure. We're gonna have to give it some little scraping here, see what happens. So start scraping off that lichen, that moss on top. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy, is that. Wow, this one's in bad shape. There's actually a colony of ants living in here, which is not surprising sometimes when you get so much growth on these. I've come up with all kinds of critters living on them. It's a perfect environment for them. We're going to be pretty careful of this. Still can't see who the name is. I don't think it's a veteran, just because it has that different type of engraving. We'll clean it and see who it is. Sometimes when you're spraying the soap on like this and you start scrubbing, the names start popping out. I'm going to use a stiff brush just pretty gently just to knock this heavy stuff off. The one nice thing about our cemetery here is that somebody went through some years ago on Find a Grave and entered all the names that the DAR women had done back in there was a transcript from the early 1960s, and the women of the DAR went through the cemetery and actually updated Frank Skilton's records. Frank Skilton did it, went through and did transcripts. Him and his wife went through and did a survey of all the cemeteries in Cuyahoga County in the 1920s, and then the DAR came through and updated all that in the 1960s, and somebody went and put them all onto Find a Grave, which is not normal for Find a Grave. Find a Grave is sometimes you have to enter every stone, but in this cemetery here in Cuyahoga County, you can there's usually that base information. So even if you take a look at this and you can start making out some of the name, you can start, even if you can make out a death date or a date on there, you can start narrowing it down and figuring out who the person is. It makes it very helpful. We've also have a fantastic deputy clerk, Lucy Ware, who's gone through, her and her husband Bob have gone through and taken all the cemetery records that the town has and put them onto a spreadsheet. And that makes it so much easier, because now you can just go through and type in a date and start searching and do a lot of narrowing down. So that makes it very handy. do some of these searches. We're so fortunate that we have all that, just to make the search so much easier. And you can find a lot of those records on the Cuyahoga County Gen website. Just search for Cuyahoga County Gen Web. Cemetery records, those transcripts, the 1960 transcripts, they pop up. You can look and see who's buried where. And then if you go to find a grave, you can start searching from that way. We're very, very, very fortunate in Cuyahoga County to have so many dedicated volunteers who are making this research easier, because not all, if you're doing any research on Find a Grave or on the Gen Webs, they're not all like Cuyahoga County, that's for darn sure. So the back of this is pretty beat up too. This has either been, it was laying over, or it's been heavily damaged. Of course, these all get lawnmower disease. Start whacking away at the bottom of them. String trimmer guys, I mean, they're doing a great job up here. But they come along and, you know, just a little bit every time, start whacking at them. What do we got here? What do we got? It says Born, B-O-R-N. See if I can make that. September. Not coming out. Boy, it's really lost. I can see an E, A. Let's see if we can spray it and see what happens. That's really bad shape. This is one of the worst ones I've seen. E-A. It looks like K-I. I can't make out any more. It's too bad. That's really beaten up right there. And I'm not going to scrub much more on that, because I'm just going to let D2 get in there and do that work. It's not going to bring any of that back, but it'll kill off what's in there. And I don't want to take a chance of loosening any more of it. I'll give the back a spray in here. So, EA. Sometimes if you look at your the neighboring stones, you can make people out. Ah, okay. So EA King. So this is it says EAKI, and the stone next to it, it says Charlotte, wife of EA King, died April 28th, 1889, and then it gives it aged, and that's probably more of that right here. And then, okay, so here's the Kearns. So this is probably a family group right here. So we can safely say that that's EA King, and we will make sure that's entered into Find a Grave, so this plot can be found later on. And let's say this is see the marbling in here. That's just the damage that's on the back. So either it could have been a weak stone, a weak vein of marble, could have been damaged. You can see that's pretty beat up. Anyway, that's Mr. EA King. Bye for now.